looking for this?
Welcome back to BoomShot. I'm Carol. This is
Yes,
Coley,
sir.
and I'm so sorry I missed the live stream.
He's back.
It's been a day, man. It's been a day, but it's so good to be with you guys. I just watched the episode. I'm a little bit late, but it was fantastic.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. I don't know what was said on the live stream, so I'm coming in here with zero context. But we're gonna go ahead and I was gonna say react to it. We're gonna go ahead and review this starting now. All right, spoiler warning. If you haven't seen it, obviously you should go watch it. There's some big stuff that happens this episode.
Yeah, a lot of big stuff.
So anyway, the first question is always, what'd you think about it?
I thought it was good, man. I've seen, some people have been down on it a little bit, but
our friend Star Wars Theory said it was mid, dude.
But I'm pretty high on it.
Yeah,
I feel like they tied up a lot of the loose ends in a satisfying way and are preparing the finale well.
Yeah, I think so as well. Some people seem to think that like this was a good episode, but not as a penultimate episode, like leading up into the finale. And I was like, I disagree. Like, I feel like now the stage is finally set for a triple showdown versus Thrawn. There's no more of the Shin-Hati Baylan Skull stuff anymore. Both of them are out of the picture, at least as far as I think. Like, I think they're out of the picture.
Yeah, so that's my biggest question coming from this is, and we talked about it on the stream, but what was kind of the deal with what Baylan kind of like threw Shin-Hati to the wolves a little bit?
I think it's because he knew that she wasn't bought into the vision.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's why, but it seemed a little quick because just last episode he was like, I was training you to be something more.
Yeah,
and then he's like, well, you can be a part of the Empire now. I understand. I think he knew where she was. Where her mind was at.
Yeah.
But I think it seemed a little quick to me.
I can definitely see that, but I think in my mind I was like, he's probably just like, bro, you don't want to stay here. Like, I can clearly tell that. So go claim your new role in the Empire.
Yeah, I think so too. But it just seems to me like they had such a history, and he trained her from probably pretty young age.
Yeah, it seems a little sudden.
Yeah, pretty young age, and then he just kind of like let her go.
Yeah.
Maddie threw out the idea that possibly it was a test. And he's going to see the possibly more dangerous challenge, whatever lies ahead, what was calling to him, and he didn't want Shin-Hati to be, perhaps be in that much danger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like maybe she'll find her way back to Baylan next episode for they'll get 5 minutes of screen time and then.
Yeah, I could see that, but I also think kind of like we see him fight Ahsoka there for a minute, and after she orders the airstrike, he kind of is almost a little disinterested. She runs off, and he's like, I'm gonna go do my own thing. So that was what I got from it. It was like he's kind of I'm trying to think of a good comparison, but he's kind of thinking above on a different plane. Right now, he's just not. He doesn't really care. So
yeah. Yeah, it just seemed odd to me that
he was willing to abandon her like that. I get that much. That's definitely kind of weird.
Yeah, that's the only thing that seemed off to me this episode. And also, I would have liked to have seen, I think something I've heard people say is that Ahsoka, being Ahsoka the White now, should have handled Baylan quicker.
Yeah.
And I think Baylan's very formidable, so I see how it would still be a fight there. And that was a sick fight.
I think Baylan can go toe to toe with any Jedi right now.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to think he was part of the Order, probably was at least a Jedi Knight, if not a Jedi Master during the Order.
And he called him, Thrawn called him a general. He said General Baylan Skull last episode, so he's pretty high up. Yeah,
exactly. So you have to think this guy's had years upon years of experience on top of being a mercenary. So he's got the Jedi experience plus the I know people hate the term gray Jedi experience, but basically the rogue Sith Jedi, kind of in between. So I don't think I think it's just a lot of people's bias toward Ahsoka, which I'm one of those people. But I mean, I don't think Ahsoka should have handled him at all. I think they're pretty even fight.
Yeah, it was a fair fight. I don't think she lost, but I think the one line in there was he was like, "You can't defeat me."
Yeah.
Which didn't she have her lightsaber at his head at that point?
No, She was blocking him like this.
Yeah.
He went to swing. She had him blocked like this, and she went to stab him, and he grabbed her fist.
Okay,
so,
I must have not saw his hand there because I was
he grabbed her fist, and she was like, and at that moment I was like, I wonder what's about to happen here. And then he's like, you can't defeat me, and she's like, I don't have to, and then just shoves him out of the way, and he gets shot at by the ship or whatever. But I think just the thing for me, man, and I think the thing for this show, the entirety of the show, is just it's felt Star Wars. Like, I know we say that, and we can't quite quantify what that actually means, but it just feels so. I think it's the lore and like the amount of lore that's invested into everything.
Yeah.
Like working with different species. Like you see the Purgil at the beginning of the episode. You see the Nodi. Like the fact that Ezra's still willing. Like he could have gotten away, and he's like, "No, I can't leave my people behind." Like that's such an
awesome.
Ezra. That's a classic Ezra move. So like
Ezra in this episode was on point.
Yeah.
I know Dave Filoni has written him the whole way along, but dude, Ezra, I thought Ezra was vintage Ezra. I loved everything about him.
The only thing I didn't like was that he didn't take his lightsaber back then.
Yeah,
I was like, no, please.
Yeah, I think you will at some point, but it's kind of like what our friend Sully said in the live stream. Was like, which he did use the Force, but he hasn't used a lightsaber in so long. I guess he's kind of in the middle. Like he can use the Force, but he hasn't used a lightsaber.
Yeah, he probably would have thought it was more of a distraction at that point, you know. And he was kicking butt for real. Like
yeah, he was.
I mean, he was kind of cooking some kids, but I mean, I think that's the thing for me, man. Is it just watching it? It just feels like classic Star Wars. And toward the end of the episode, when the music swells, and I literally felt like the Clone Wars theme was about to hit.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, like I literally thought that was about to happen.
There was a lot of stuff that felt Clone Wars to me, especially when Ahsoka is like going to the the ring of Saturn or whatever, the ring of the Purgil bones.
Yeah,
I thought that was very Clone Wars, and then Thrawn's just like sitting back, like directing his troops and stuff.
He's like do the circle up tandem or something like that, and I was like, what a beast. And then whenever they die, he's like, the reasonable losses.
Yeah.
But we don't need to waste our resources on them. We need to go this way, and they're distracted over there. And I'm like, Thrawn, what a beast. I do wonder. Also, sorry, just train of thought. I was thinking about the beginning of the episode with Hera was really good as well. I thought that was a great opening.
I loved that, and they brought in 3PO. You recognize his voice immediately.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of cameos in there, really.
Dude, okay, so 3PO I think was the first one. They name dropped Leia.
Yeah.
Anakin comes back. He name drops Ventress, which was kind
and Dooku and Grievous.
Yeah, and Dooku and Grievous, and also they name drop Gideon.
Yeah.
Which I think is one of the smallest details that I think is huge.
Yeah.
Because it ties it into Mando in general. And I think it ties in. It's going to connect everything for Filoni's movie. I think they're starting to tie the threads together.
Dude, yeah, so that's what I was literally thinking of whenever I was watching it. I just couldn't help but be like, like it felt like early Marvel days when you started to see like Hawkeye appear and like in Iron Man or like in Thor, and then you see Black Widow and Iron Man 2. It's like I know something's about to happen. But seriously, no, I'm so pumped, man. I can't wait to see what Dave Filoni cooks up for the big screen. But I mean, going forward, where do you think where do you think we go?
I think we go back to our galaxy. To me, I think that I just don't know. I feel like everyone's gonna make it back. I don't think there's any way they wouldn't. Yeah. I've seen some theories floating around that like everybody stays back, and that's how like Ezra and Ahsoka weren't in the sequels. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think they all have to make it back because that's I just don't see any way they don't. I think they'll make it back to Thrawn's ship, and I don't think Thrawn will die. There's no way. I hope he wins. Yeah, I hope he wins this season and gets defeated later on. He needs more time.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I 100% agree with that. I haven't seen enough of Thrawn, but I don't know if I agree with your take on that though, because I'm thinking of if you've ever played the game Transformers: Fall of Cybertron. The game opens with the ending. So they open up and the Autobots are trying to leave Cybertron, and the Decepticons intercept them, and they're like, "You can't leave if we can't leave." And so like there's this like battle to see who's actually going to make it out of there. And I really feel like that's kind of what it's going to be like. The hyperspace ring is the only way out that they know of. And so who makes it out? Like Thrawn or Ahsoka and her team. I feel like it's going to be either or.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I hope it's not because I just want to see Thrawn, but
yeah, I see that. I can see that. I've seen people saying that it will be like an Infinity War, the Infinity War of Star Wars, where that like the heroes get defeated and everything looks bad.
Yeah.
And I guess we'd have to wait until the movie or Mando season 4 to see what happens. But
yeah, I guess Mando could. He's got like a swift new ride, so maybe he can travel that fast.
Well, yeah, when we were talking about that in the live stream when Grogu like reaches his hand out in the game 1, there Voss was saying that maybe it was Ahsoka riding by on the Purrgil. That was the same one. So I don't know, man. I really feel like they're all gonna make it out, but it just doesn't make that much logistical sense. Like, how would they all be on the ship and not kill each other?
Yeah, I think another thing you could think about too is you could do like a classic Star Wars stowaway where they don't really fight, but they try to just like they're only trying to escape. But I feel like the end game is not to escape; it's to stop Thrawn from escaping. So,
yeah, that's true.
I do feel like that's going to be a thing, but also I could see a complete misdirect where Thrawn actually makes it out unscathed.
Yeah.
And that sets us up from the beginning, and they have to find their way off using a different method.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I could see Balin and Shin maybe coming back at that point.
Yeah.
And that's where we get set up for the big grand finale, So I could see that going one of two ways. Thrawn escapes and they fight Balin, or they try to like stow away on Thrawn's ship or whatever, and during like the hyperspace flight or something like that, they commence like a big battle. I don't know. Kind of like a Clone Wars Season 7 Order 66 on the Venator type thing, I think that'd be kind of sick, but...
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot that could happen. I mean, I don't think... Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah, really.
It's got me thinking of a lot of different theories that we've discussed, but also, like, I'm just not too sure, and I'm excited
I think
to see
they closed enough threads to the point where it does leave you more in the dark than anything, because you're like, oh, okay, well, this is closed. Okay, well, this is closed, so I wonder if this... Oh, no, that's closed. So, like, you're narrowing down your options, but also it could open up a whole world of new options, because they get to kind of... You can start and stop an arc in an episode if you do it right. So
yeah, and I think that's a good thing. I completely agree with you that they tied up, a lot of threads in this episode, so that way the finale won't feel as rushed.
Yeah,
which they've fallen victim to in general.
Yeah, recently.
Disney Plus shows. So
hopefully, I do believe that. I mean, with everything that we've seen so far, I have this is actually a show I would go back and rewatch.
Yeah, I was thinking that today.
And that is not something I've said for... I don't think that's something I've ever said for a Disney Plus show.
I've rewatched parts of Loki, and
yeah,
that's probably the... Parts of WandaVision, that's probably...
But I feel like Loki and...
Mando season...
In WandaVision, they really relied on the suspense part of it. But Ahsoka's... I mean, and not that Loki's bad. I'm not trying... we love Loki. Like, Loki's a great show, but I also feel like suspense was heavy... Like, it was part of it.
Yeah, it's not gonna
kinda
be. It's not gonna hit the same the second time.
Yeah, kind of like how fans are. Like the cameos that were in Spider-Man: No Way Home were the main part of it.
It's a lot different watching.
Yeah, when you watch it the second time, it just doesn't feel the same. This show, it doesn't rely much on any of that. It's just pure storytelling.
Yeah, because there's a lot you can get anytime you watch it from the lore and stuff. So, yeah, I agree with that. It's definitely highly rewatchable.
Yeah, and just shout out to Balin, man. Rip. R.I.P. Ray Stevenson, man. Like, he's such a fantastic actor.
He's awesome, man.
Dude, and it's so sad. But he said this one line that to Shin, dude, you know what I'm talking about?
He said, don't be so hasty for victory that it blinds you to defeat or something like
that. That it leads to he's like, don't be so, like, don't try to go get victory so fast that it leads to a hasty defeat or something like that. It's something along those lines, but I was like, dang. Like, that's
when he said that, I envisioned that as an opening line in Clone Wars.
Yeah, literally. That Dave Filoni pulls that random quote out of his butt, like that. But I was like, whoa, dude, that makes so much sense. But I think that was kind of, it just feels, I'm with you on the Shin and Balin thing. It does kind of feel a little weird, but
that's why
I guess I just didn't think twice about it.
I think, I mean, and I think it makes sense. Like, they built up that Shin did not want to be a part of, like, what Balin was doing.
Yeah.
So it made sense, but it also, I feel like they should have spent more time. It should have been more of like a sad departure more than
yeah.
Because I feel like she was obviously betrayed, because it was just like boom, go fight him, and she's like, what? Well,
and then she gets her butt kicked. Ahsoka without a lightsaber might be better than Ahsoka with a lightsaber. That's what I think I'm sticking with that, dude. She was cooking, but that pretty much wraps up our thoughts. Well, not really. I mean, I probably would have had a bunch of thoughts if I was here for the live stream. R.I.P. But I think that wraps up the thoughts for this video, unless you got one more thing.
Yeah, I said this during the live stream. I still think that Moff Gideon is out there. That's going to be my wild theory I'm sticking with. It could be, I could ride the ship into it sinking. But yeah. I think the Moff Gideon that died was a clone. And we'll see him awaiting the return of Thrawn with his, Mando dark trooper.
Imagine the Night Troopers and the Mando Troopers. Thrawn and
that's what I'm saying,
and dude. Moff, dude, that would be that. I feel like they kind of have to do that because they need more than just one big bad for the movie.
I agree. That's why
they need like a henchman.
And they were building up Moff Gideon to be like such a beast, and then like I feel like there's just a lot more to his character for him to die at that moment. So I feel like it was a clone. That's my prediction, and I think we'll see Saj Ventress and Quinlan Voss together at some point on screen in live action.
Dang.
That's my other... Because they name drop Quinlan in Kenobi and Ventress in this. So
yeah.
I think we could end up getting that arc, where they work together.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely willing to see any of that. Hopefully Gus Fring returns. There's no Hector Salamanca, so we know that Gus may still be alive.
Yeah, I think he will be. He didn't get blown up.
Yeah, well I mean,
he
technically
did.
Technically he did.
His colon got blown up. Yeah. That's my prediction.
Yeah, anyway, but let us know what you guys think. Are you excited for the finale? What'd you think of the episode, honestly? Since it's kind of divisive at this point. But let us know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.